African minerals are no longer for scramble. African resources are no longer meant to benefit people who do not live in Africa, are not African, and do not understand what these resources mean for the continent. Moving forward, if you want to do business with Africans, if you want to benefit from African resources, President Cyril Ramaphosa says there are new terms of doing business. Take it or leave it, because they're partners who are willing to respect Africans when it comes to doing business with them.
This continent is rich in the critical minerals that will drive business success in the 21st century. The continent has resources of lithium, vanadium, cobalt, platinum, palladium, nickel, copper, rare earth minerals, rhodium, and many others. And these are the minerals that are bound and are driving economic activity across the world. African countries have made it clear that the investors of choice are those who will come and invest in our continent, but also process the resources here, close to source, so that African countries do not export rock and sand, but export finished products as we would like to do.
Hello there, how are you doing? Welcome again to another episode of our conversations. My name is Ondiro Oganga. I'm a business journalist by profession and a digital content creator. I talk about Africa, Black people, our empowerment, and how we can rise up and take our rightful place at the global stage. The BRICS Summit is currently ongoing, and the host president, Cyril Ramaphosa of South Africa, has had his moment to share some sentiments during the closing ceremony of the business summit that was going on. And I picked up a couple of interesting things from his speech and his presentation, and I like the tone that he adopted in his conversation. I think that we all know that the terms of which Africa does business with the rest of the world are not fair terms. They're not fair terms at all. They're very unfair terms. They're one-sided. They oppress Africans. They mess with our environment, and just nobody wins, nobody benefits. Not the Africans, not the owners of the resources. If anything, these resources help other people, you know, and particularly if you look at how France does business with the continent, La France Afrique, where everything is for the benefit and prosperity of France, and then you come later and you come last. Look at West Africa. Look at what that great and beautiful place has become. It has become nothing. It's turning to dust. Their resources are not helping them. It's almost like a kangaroo republic that continues to benefit the West at the expense of the people. And so we need a new order when it comes to doing business. We need to sort of just shake the table, change the way we do business. We need a total overhaul of the system. Who sits at the table to begin African deals? What are their interests? You know, as even the Africans who sit down to begin the deal, what are their interests? How long can these contracts be? Because sometimes also Africans are locked in very unfair contracts, and these contracts are 25 years, 50 years long. These ways of doing business are honestly oppressive. And this is a continent that you oppressed for years and years and years on end. And we had to fight through our blood, sweat, and tears to get independence. Now that you can no longer put us under forced labor, you're coming at us in a different way. And President Cyril Ramaphosa says the new order of doing business is seeing us as partners and equals. You must respect who we are, where we are at, and work with us in the vision of where we want to go.
The shape of the global economy. Together, the BRICS countries make up a quarter of the global economy. They account for a fifth of global trade and are home to more than 40% of the world's population. This agglomeration of these 5 countries has a major impact on various aspects of the global activity and life. As we celebrate the 15th anniversary of BRICS, trade between BRICS countries totaled some $162 billion last year. Foreign investment has played an important role in the growth of BRICS economies. Total annual foreign direct investment into BRICS countries is 4 times greater than it was 20 years ago. However, the new wave of protectionism and subsequent impact of unilateral measures that are incompatible with WTO rules undermine the global economic growth and development. We therefore need to reaffirm our position that economic growth must be underpinned by transparency, by inclusiveness. It must be compatible with a multilateral trading system that supports a developmental agenda, the type of developmental agenda that the 5 countries that are members of BRICS have embraced right from the onset. We require a fundamental reform of the global financial institutions so that they can be more agile and responsive to the challenges facing developing economies. In this respect, the new development bank, established by BRICS countries in 2015, is leading the way. Since its formation, it has demonstrated its ability to mobilize resources for infrastructure and sustainable development in emerging economies without conditionality.
President Ramaphosa also touches on a very important detail, which is value addition on our natural resources. I say this and I say this again and again and again. Africans are shortchanged when it comes to their mineral resources because we send out raw material. Take Kenya, for example. If I do say so myself, Kenya has the best tea in the world. I grew up in Kenya. I grew up taking Kenyan tea. And I wasn't taking refined tea. I was taking like the local tea that they sell to the people, which is not like the best tea. And then I made, I don't want to say it was a mistake, but you know, adventure. I tried ordering a cup of tea when I was abroad and I couldn't swallow that tea. I was like, what is this? Because I know tea and this is not tea. And that's exactly what happens. Kenya sells raw tea leaves. It will send unprocessed tea leaves to London, to wherever it sends it to. Then these people will take our tea leaves and blend it with other cheap teas that they've gotten from other places and sell it for such a higher price. And so the tea farmers that plant the tea are not making any money. And then the rest of you are taking diluted tea and somebody is making massive profits. It's the same thing when it comes to cocoa and chocolate. Ghana will send out cocoa beans, right? And so Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire together, on a serious note, let's get serious here. Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire together produce over 65% of world cocoa beans. Yet chocolate money is concentrated in Europe, specifically Switzerland. So how is it that people that do not grow cocoa make the most out of cocoa proceeds? Does that make sense? And when the conversation of value addition is introduced, then they introduce so many restrictions on your products that they can't access their market. It's not the restrictions. It's the fact that they know the promise that value-added products have in the market. Let's go back to Kenya again. Flowers are grown in Naivasha. This is a conversation I even had with Winnie Byanyima. There was a time she had a really viral speech at the World Economic Forum. And when I met her in Nairobi, we were having the same conversation. And she was like, if they agreed to just pay an extra $1 or 5 or 10 per stem of a rose, you understand? The quality of life of the women in Naivasha that work in the flower farms, that have to deal with the thorns on the roses, their life would increase, the quality of their life would increase exponentially. But we don't want to empower these Africans. We don't want them to be stable. We don't want them to be independent. Then we'll keep buying raw materials from them at cheap prices to keep oppressing them. And we're seeing different African countries coming up and saying, listen, if you want our minerals, particularly minerals where you don't have a choice, we're now seeing countries saying, you want our diamond? It's processed here, it's cut here, you buy the refined product. You want our gold? It's processed here, here before you get it. And it was very important for President Cyril Ramaphosa to enforce that point.
Africa is a continent of great opportunity in industrialization process in a variety of sectors. This continent is rich in the critical minerals that will drive business success in the 21st century. The continent has resources of lithium, vanadium, cobalt, platinum, palladium, nickel, copper, rare earth minerals, rhodium, and many others. And these are the minerals that are bound and are driving economic activity across the world. African countries have made it clear that the investors of choice are those who will come and invest in our continent, but also process the resources here, close to source, so that African countries do not export rock and sand, but export finished products as we would like to do. We are developing stronger regional value chains that will connect a number of African countries, providing investors with diversity, with strength, as well as with resilience. The African Continental Free Trade Area creates a single market that is expected to grow to 1.7 billion people and nearly $7 trillion in consumer and business spending by 2030. The success of the African Continental Free Trade Area will require a massive investment in infrastructure. We need to mobilize the substantial financing that is needed to build the roads, the ports, the rail, energy and telecommunications network that will enable industrialization and trade. It is also pleasing to hear that you as a business community, you also see this area as opportunities that you can invest in.
Well, as a host, he kept his speech short and sweet, and that's all I had for you. I'll see you again next time. Please remember to give this video a like, because that helps with the algorithm recommending it to many more people, and share it with a friend and comment down below what you think. I'll see you again next time.